Hey, how you doing? I hope you're all good. I am back in The Sims 4 today to make a different type of video. This is not a speed build. I'm just going to be including some footage here and there. I don't know what I'm including just yet, but hopefully you can enjoy it. This is more like a podcast kind of video. I want to get my opinions out there, so I'm going to get started. I want to talk about the good side and the bad side of The Sims 4. It was just going to be the bad side of The Sims 4, but I want to do it justice because it isn't all bad. There is a balance when it comes to the game, so I'm going to start off with the good, get that out of the way. I just want to make it crystal clear at the start of this video as well that further on, when I talk about the bad side of it, I am going to get a little bit political and deep. I am going to be talking about some of the updates that The Sims 4 has included that include LGBT representation, and I'm not talking about sexuality, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about some other things that I've seen that the media also picked up on that I just don't agree with. It didn't sit well with me the moment that I saw it, and I want to talk about it a little bit in this video. So if these topics trigger you, this is not the video for you, but if you can handle a differing opinion, then please continue watching. I just wanted to give you a notice. If you are the type of person that is very much into the cult fandom of The Sims 4, you can't handle differing opinions about the game, and if you are someone that can't handle differing opinions about LGBT or anything to do with politics, you're too involved and attached to it all, then you will not enjoy this video. Save yourself the stress, click off now. That is your warning. When it comes to The Sims 4, when it first launched, I had a lot of hope for this game because the build mode has always impressed me. It is the easiest build mode that I've noticed in all Sims games. Like Sims 1 was a nightmare to build in. For me personally, I didn't really enjoy it. And I was a lot younger back then, so I just didn't want to do any of that. I was more focused on the gameplay. And then The Sims 2 came around, and that was actually a big improvement. That was easy. I don't think building in The Sims 2 is hard. I think it is an easy way to build, but there's a lot of limitations. And then when it comes to The Sims 3, beautiful to build in. Like, it is a really good build tool, and you can build amazing, realistic kind of homes. As realistic as you can make them, but they do look a bit more realistic with the worlds and, you know, the objects and things compared to The Sims 4. The Sims 4 is a little bit more cartoony, but when it comes to The Sims 3, it's very laggy. That has always been its downside. It is just very laggy. Like, even with the smooth patch that I got from Lazy Duchess, even with the mods that I get to kind of smooth it out, it's still a bit laggy now and again. I have to like keep going into live mode and then back into build mode just to refresh it to stop the lagging. So it is a little bit tedious and a bit annoying. I spend way too much time building just one house in The Sims 3 compared to The Sims 4. So the build mode in The Sims 4 is absolutely top notch. I really do love it. It's the most amazing build mode that we've got. If they carry on with this build mode technique that they've got with The Sims 5, then I think that'll be another good game for building. I don't know what The Sims 5 is going to be like. I don't know if it's going to push multiplayer, but that's another video for another day. But when it comes to The Sims 4, the build mode is just amazing. I love the build mode objects that come in these new packs, and I love that we have this world edit. What do they call it? The world edit or the world object cheat? I forget the name of it. You know the one that I'm talking about, where you can actually go and find a lot of the world object items, and you can place them into your game for free. You don't have to pay for it. So that's a good way to build and landscape and things. Especially when it comes to landscaping and using a lot of props. It's very good, is that cheat. So that is The Sims 4's strong point. Now, the second good thing about The Sims 4 is Create a Sim. I think you all knew I was going to say that. I don't know, but a lot of people do praise Create a Sim because it is definitely the best looking one out of the bunch. You got The Sims 1, pixelated, obviously, and then The Sims 2. I think The Sims 2 is good. I don't have really anything too negatives to say about The Sims 2, apart from they all look the same. Like, all of the Sims, they don't really look that unique. I know that you can try and make them more unique with mods and things, but they all look very similar, and it's very outdated. It is what it is, but I still do like The Sims 2, the way that The Sims look. And then when it comes to The Sims 3, I don't know what went on there, but they all look like potatoes. You really do have to get a lot of custom content and mods to fix that shit. Like, I really don't have anything too positive to say about the base game Sims, like, without custom content. in The Sims 3. They do not look that good, I don't think. They look like potatoes, let's be real and honest with ourselves. They just don't look that good. And the clothing options, the hair options are just not it. But with a CC, it really does make it look a lot better. So, you know, you just have to add a load of custom content if you want to make your Sims 3 look good. So when it comes to The Sims 4 though, Create a Sim, really don't have an issue with it. Yes, it does look a lot better when you use custom content, especially if it's Maxis Match. No hate to anyone who uses Alpha CC. I used to use it when I was younger, but the more older that I get, the more I just need my game to look the same. Like, the game is very cartoony, and when you add a load of alpha, hair, objects, clothing, it sticks out like a sore thumb. It just doesn't match the game surroundings, and I need it to match. So that's why I went back to, well, that's why I started using Maxis Match when it became so popular, and I just prefer it ever since. I'm glad that the custom content creators started making Maxis Match, because I remember way back when it first launched, it was mainly just Alpha CC, because nobody really knew how to, you know, make it blend in with the game, but now they do it perfectly. We've got so many cool CC creators. But I do think that the base game and just the Sims in general do look good without CC as well. Apart from the eyes, like if you can use custom content, I do recommend getting some custom eyes at least, because they really do change it. I don't like the eye textures. I've never really liked them in The Sims 4. Apart from like the, you know, the darker options, like the brown options, they look a lot better. But when it's the bright eye textures, they just don't really have any texture to them. It just looks plain and boring. I don't like those. I wish that Maxis would actually work with a CC creator, especially one of them that I use. I forget his name at the top of my head, but if you can get past the eye thing, I think it is a really big improvement compared to previous games. So Create a Sim is definitely a big up, apart from the male Sims, but I'm going to get onto that later on. That is one of my negatives. I'll get onto that in a bit though. And whilst I'm talking about custom content, that is another big positive, I think. I think that is a game changer when it comes to The Sims 4. I think a lot of people would have given up on this game. Me personally, I would have given up if we didn't have a lot of these very talented custom content creators out there and mod creators. They really have saved the game. I'm going to be honest with you, like, they have kept this game alive. If they didn't exist, if they didn't allow CC mod support, the game would have died very early on, and EA know that. That is why they've been working with a lot of CC creators. That's why they've been including a lot of these game changers to building the new packs, the new worlds that have coming out. They know that they do not have that creativity. They will never have that kind of creativity that the community have. They give us the core features and then we work on that with the mods and CC. They just make the game better. So a big round of applause definitely goes to custom content creators, because they keep the game alive. That's just my honest opinion. And it is such a shame if a lot of you are playing The Sims 4 on console. I apologize. Like, I know that it must kill you inside, because I know that it used to kill me inside when I used to play The Sims 3 on console and I never had a PC to actually download the CC that I loved. It must kill you, and I get it, I am sorry. Hopefully one day you can get a PC and you can check out all of the custom content, because it is amazing. I just really wanted to mention it in this video. And then the final big good point about The Sims 4, I can't believe I've gone on 8 minutes talking about the good points, 9 minutes actually, talking about the good points of The Sims 4. I didn't think I had that many good points, but clearly I do. But I will say that the build and buy and the worlds in these new packs that are coming out are decent. Now, I'm not talking about the world sizes or the lot sizes or the very little interaction that you can do in these worlds. I will talk about that next in the negative side of The Sims 4, but I'm mainly talking about how beautiful it all looks. Like, it looks good. I can't deny it. I can't say that it doesn't look good. A lot of it is fake set dressing, but I'll talk about that in a bit. But it looks good. I can't deny it. Like, the worlds do look good. When I see the trailers and I see the gameplay overviews and then I get the game myself and I check it out, I'm like, yeah, it does look good. Sulani is my favourite world, Brindleton Bay, and the one that came with the wedding pack, I forget the name of it, Tartosa I think it's called. Beautiful worlds. I just wish they had more to do in them, but I'll talk about that next. Just wanted to say that they look really good. The build and buy has absolutely topped it in previous Sims games. They just look better, like it's modern. We have modular sofas. We have the things that we want. It still needs a bit of way to go. You know, the objects are kind of all looking the samey. A lot of them seem to be redesigned, recolored and whatever else, but you know, if they do give us a bit more unique styles, then it'd be a lot better. It's just, I think that the build and buy is really good. And then the worlds, like I've said, a lot better than previous Sims games, like just in the graphics wise, they look a lot more modern and lively, even though they're not lively. And that is what I'm going to get onto next. I'm going to talk about the negative side of The Sims 4. I think I've got all of the good points out of the way. The gameplay, very much lacking, but I'm going to get onto that. So whilst I'm talking about the worlds, I will talk about my main negative when it comes to this. The non-open worlds is what ruins The Sims 4, in my personal opinion. And I think a lot of people also share this opinion, especially if you've come from previous Sims games. Now, if you haven't come from previous Sims games and you have only played The Sims 4, and you are going to come into the comments telling me that I am negative and that you prefer non-open worlds and you prefer it how it is, just please go back and play those games. Just please check them out. Realize what you are actually missing out on and realize why a lot of people actually feel this way about there not being an open world in The Sims 4. Like, a lot of us just feel like the immersion has been broken whenever we jump into The Sims 4. I'm instantly bored when I go into The Sims 4 because I know that I'm just going to be stuck on one lot and then I'm just going to see a load of Sims walking around my lot or coming into the lot. It ruins the immersion to me. I want to go and snoop on my neighbours. Like, I want to be a peeping Tom just to, see what's going on in my Sims world that I've created, which is another reason why I don't like the worlds, is we can't create our own. That is another bad side of it. I've always wanted to be able to create my own worlds in a life simulation game. I can do it in The Sims 3, but when it comes to The Sims 4, I just can't. You're not allowed. You just have to shut up and put up with the worlds that they give you. And as beautiful as they are, they have nothing to do in them. Like, you've got nothing to do. You literally boot up your game when a new pack comes out. Like, this For Rent pack is coming out soon. Gonna boot up the game, you're gonna check it out for a good 10 minutes and you've seen everything. Like, you'll go check out the rabbit hole. It's just a very annoying pop-up that pops up on your screen with text. It is the most immersion breaking game out of the whole franchise because of the non-open worlds. Now, I know I've accepted it. I know that this is just how it is. I'm not gonna badger on about it. It's a shame. I wish that they tried their best to make it open worlds. Get rid of the loading screens. We'll not have as many. I wish they made a system where you come into one neighborhood, you have one loading screen, and that's it. You can see what all of your neighbors are doing. You have your one neighborhood, because let's face it, they've only got like 4 or sometimes less lots in one neighborhood. Surely they could have made something work with that, but they didn't. I'm not falling for the same excuse that the game can't handle it, because clearly they keep on adding more and more expansion packs and packs. If the game can't handle it, why are they doing this? They're clearly favouring the money versus the quality. That's just how it is. So that is my main disappointment when it comes to The Sims 4, is the worlds being non-open and there being very little to interact with, little to do. So my next negative about The Sims 4 definitely comes to the gameplay. Like that, I've got to get that out of the way. I wouldn't say it's non-existent. There is definitely some gameplay in the game, but it just doesn't excite me the way that previous Sims games did. Now, a lot of people will say you shouldn't compare them to each other, but why shouldn't you? It's a sequel. It is the next Sims game. It's meant to be the next generation. It's meant to be an improvement. Why shouldn't we compare it to previous Sims games? The Sims 2 was a big improvement to The Sims 1, like graphically, it's now 3D instead of it just being 2D. Big improvement. And then The Sims 3 topped it off with open worlds. And then we come to The Sims 4 and we've just took a whole step backwards. And it even goes backwards compared to The Sims 2. Maybe even The Sims 1 in some cases, like the gameplay. So I just feel like the gameplay is way too easy. I feel like it just doesn't add like a challenge. It doesn't pique my interest. I get bored within an hour. Not even that. Honestly, I play this game for like 10 minutes. I build my home, I create my sim, jump into the game, and I'm bored instantly. And a lot of other simmers say that exact same thing. They're like, what do I do now? I don't know where to start. Even though, you can clearly interact and, build up stories and relationships and things, but none of it has a deep meaning, just being real with you. None of it has an impact. Like, your sim can cheat on another sim and they'll have a moodlet that they're angry, jealous, whatever, and they'll feel a little bit bitter for a little bit, but then it just goes back to normal and they're smiling again. And there's just a lot of bugs when it comes to the gameplay side of it, and it just ruins the immersion. Every time that I've tried to take this game seriously with the gameplay, I've been disappointed, and the immersion has just broken for me with how many bugs and how simple and easy it all is. There's no consequences, and it definitely does feel like a Disney game in my personal opinion. So the gameplay's lacking. I hope that they do improve it when it comes to The Sims 5. Another reason, as a male player, a male simmer, I don't really like the lack of male inclusion in this game. Obviously you can create male sims, obviously we have a selection of things, but I feel like we're always an afterthought. Same with the kids as well, if you want to fight that corner, but I am a male, I'm going to fight the male's corner. And I feel like we're always being left out in a way, and the females are favorited more than we are, which is so weird and bizarre since EA and the community love to bang on about inclusion and diversity and saying that they want equal rights, equal everything. Yet when it comes to males, we always get the shit options. We always get either the unisex options, which I'm not the biggest fan of, or we get the shit end of it, like items and clothing that just don't look as good as the females options, and that's why I prefer playing with female sims. But it shouldn't be this way. We should be having equal amount of items, and you know, I'm going to fight that, especially when it comes to The Sims 5. Hopefully they learn and they don't keep on favoriting female items just because it's a female dominated game. Like, a lot of guys play it as well, a lot of gays, a lot of guys, we enjoy it as well, so why can't we have equal amount of items that just look as good as the female items? That's all I'm asking for. Now, my next reasons are a little bit controversial. Like I mentioned at the start, if you get triggered by this stuff, this is the part where you need to click off, because I'm not specifically just talking about the game, I'm talking about the company and the community. So if you do easily get triggered by anything towards The Sims 4, the community, if you are in a very big, safe, positive, rainbow-filled bubble, I really don't think this part of the video is going to do you any good. But if you can handle differing opinions, then I really do have respect for you, because, you know, you're strong and you can handle it and you can come into this with an open mind, which I really do respect. But I'm going to start off, get the big one out of the way when it comes to the company, EA themselves. Now, I know that EA aren't the most popular company out there. Even a lot of Sims 4 fans also disagree with some things that EA is doing, so I'm not alone on this, I do know. But there are certain things that I've seen EA promoting, pushing, try to normalise that I just can't agree with. I just don't. And I don't know why it's been pushed into a teen-friendly life simulation game. It just doesn't sit well with me. And I want to make it crystal clear, I am not talking about LGBT representation when it comes to sexuality. I'm not talking about that. And I'm not talking about trans people being included in the game either. I've got no issue with that, especially if it's a trans adult. I want to make that crystal clear. I'm a gay man, not that I need to make that clear in my videos, but I have been accused on Twitter especially of being a white, straight, conspiracy theorist, far-right, whatever, Trump supporter. I have been accused of those things, which I've just laughed at because it's definitely not what I am. Yes, I am white, but who cares about that? Who sees colour? Why do you see colour? I just don't get it. If somebody has an opinion that you don't agree with, I don't know why people go straight to race. I don't know why they go to, you are favouring a certain political party, when I'm not even for the right or the left. I'm a centrist. I don't give a shit about any of that. I believe in equal rights. That's where I stand firmly. I want to make that clear. When it comes to this company, EA, though, I really do not like the activists that they've been working with. I don't want to mention their name because I can't remember it at the top of my head, I'll be honest with you, but they worked with a creator, or I don't even know what they're famous for. I don't know what they do. I think they're just an activist, an LGBT activist. They don't represent me. They definitely are not on my side. So I don't know why they're even a part of this community or an activist. Like, I don't understand it, but they were promoting the shit out of this person on Twitter, on Instagram, and they got a lot of backlash for it, rightfully so, and I'm glad that they did. Hopefully they learn their lesson to not work with very problematic activists, because believe you and me, a lot of these mainstream activists that are, you know, promoted and pushed everywhere these days are not doing any community any good. Like, they're making it far worse than what it was. Like, they've made the hate train 10 times worse. It's mainly all come from them because of the things that they're saying. Like, they're saying very extreme things and very creepy things, and I don't agree with it. I don't support it, and If I see my favourite franchise working with these people, it's going to put a bad taste in my mouth and I'm going to call it out. That's just how it is. If it insults my soul and if I see it for what it is, I'm going to have to say something. So that's how I feel. I don't think that EA should be working with these people. I think they should be doing full checks on these activists. Like, just because they have followers, just because the leftist media is promoting them, praising them so much, doesn't mean that they're actually good people. You really do need to look into the things that they've been saying online and doing and supporting, and you realise that they're not actually decent people that are for LGBT representation. They are clearly just there to stir up a load of trouble and cause more hate than it's worth and make themselves look like victims, when nobody in the LGBT community should feel like a victim, like, especially if you aren't experiencing a lot of hate and you aren't going through things. I don't know why they keep on trying to make us out like we're a bunch of victims and we need to be feeling shit and oppressed and all this other stuff, when we don't need to be feeling like that. We should be feeling strong. We should be feeling proud of who we are, not letting shit get to us. I didn't want to get too deep, but that's just how I personally feel when it comes to a lot of these activists. I just feel like they want us to feel victimized. They want us to feel oppressed, and I don't agree with that. So I think EA should just chill out. Stop working with these activists. Just leave it at that. Hopefully they've learned their lesson, because I can only imagine the amount of money that they've lost since they've been working with these activists and pushing certain things in the game. I can imagine a lot of players have just said, you know what, this is not the game for me anymore. Like, even I'm leaving The Sims 4 behind once I've finished my videos that I've got planned, and I'm moving back to The Sims 3, just because The Sims 3 was made in a simple time where there wasn't any of this stuff pushed in our faces. You could create whatever sim you wanted, and that was it. It was a simple Sims game, and it wasn't political. It didn't have political agendas, not that I'm aware of, but I don't notice any of that stuff in that game, and that's why I prefer it. That's why I've gone back to a lot of the older games, because there's no fake pandering, and this is my problem when it comes to these games. Like, a lot of them are just fake pandering to the LGBT people, and it makes it insufferable for everybody. Like, even for me, a gay guy, I'm sick of seeing it. I just want to be treated normally, equally. I don't need special treatment for being gay. I don't need anybody to bow down to me. That's narcissism. I'm not a narcissist. I don't want people to be like that. I just want it to be treated like a normal guy. So what about my sexuality? It's nobody's business unless they ask, and that's it. Don't make a big issue out of it. But all of these companies seem to want to push it in the games, movies, TV shows, and we're at the point now where even the people that they're trying to represent are tired of it as well. Like, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I've seen a lot of people that are a part of the LGBT also saying that they're tired of the pandering now. Like, can we just go back to just everything just being normal again and equal, and, you know, less rainbows, less bullshit. Just let's go back to making great stories with interesting characters that are actually likable. They're not just ticking a box. Come on, let's go back to good entertainment. That's all we want. I'm just being honest. Don't hate the person for speaking the truth. Final part about The Sims 4, the bad side of it. It doesn't really involve the game, but it involves the community, especially on Twitter. That's where I've seen it the most. Now, I'm 50-50 with this, and I want to just make it clear, this is not a personal attack to anybody who just enjoys The Sims 4 and you mind your business. That I'm being specific with that. As long as you mind your business, you allow other people to share their opinions if they're not favouring The Sims 4 or the packs that come out. If they want to voice their opinions and you allow them to do that and you still enjoy the game, I have got no hate towards you. Enjoy the game. I respect you for that. Like, I don't have any problem with anybody that enjoys the game. I'm not one of these that is going to tell you to boycott it just because I don't agree with certain things about it. I'm not that type of guy. I can still play it for what it is, but the issue that I've got is the other side of the community that love to push their view onto others. Like, if you ever critique a pack that is coming out, because that's normally where this drama starts, anytime that there's a new pack that comes out, there is always one side that just love it to death. They don't see anything wrong with it. If it's got a tiny world, tiny lots, more loading screens, rabbit holes, there's very little gameplay. If it's just the most uninteresting pack ever, they will absolutely love it to death. Fair enough. But the problem that I've got is when they come and attack the people that are just being honest about what they're being given, like the quality of these packs. They want more, they're demanding more, and we're constantly told that we are ungrateful and we need to stop complaining, that we need to respect the game devs, and we need to just shut up and just be silent and not have an opinion, basically, just because they love it, they're excited for it, whether it's genuine excitement or if it's because they want to be a game changer or because they already are a game changer. That's up for debate, but I notice that they always have to pipe up anytime that you critique it, anytime that you just call it for what it is. I'm going to use For Rent for an example, so I'm not going to mention anybody's names. I don't like to do that shit, never will do that. I'm just like using examples right now. So when For Rent was announced, the trailer really did look amazing. It even hooked me when I've not even been interested in The Sims 4 for a while. I was like, you know what, this is something that I want to see more of. And then the more that they showed, the more that I was disappointed, can't lie. Especially when I saw the leak of the map screen and I saw how little it was. I actually do like the map screen, I will say that looks really cool, but I just wish it had another neighborhood. Why did they have to make it so small? It makes no sense. So when I saw the map screen, I saw how small it was. I still got a little bit excited thinking that the lot sizes might be good, because there was one lot which I thought would have been a 64 by 64 or at least a 50 by 50, because it did actually look quite big. But then we find out later on that that is actually just a 40 times 30 lot, which is a big disappointment. And this is where it all just started to go downhill. This is where I started to lose my hype for this pack and my interest for it. Because why are they bringing out a buildable apartments pack that's the main selling point, that's the main feature, yet they're giving us a very tiny world and very tiny lots to build on? Like, some of us want to landscape our apartments, we want to add little communal garden areas, or we just want to build massive apartments, but we are so limited because of this world size. So I've been voicing that on Twitter, and a lot of other people have as well, and I've noticed all of these sunshine and rainbow simmers that love to be promoting positivity 24/7 always seem to pipe up in the replies. They haven't really tried it with me, but they tried it with another Sims YouTuber who voiced her concerns about it. I don't want to mention anyone's name, but they left a lot of really shitty comments towards her and calling her negative all the time, making her feel like shit, try to like bully her into submission so she doesn't share her honest opinions on the packs anymore. Like, they just keep going at her every time that she critiques any new pack that comes out, and it's so silly to me. Like, you're not so positive after all, are you? But they keep doing it, and I've noticed a load of other tweets as well from these. I've noticed that a lot of them are actually game changers, so they get the pack for free, which is just a big clown thing in itself. Like, they're critiquing paying customers and telling them not to complain whilst they get the packs for free, and nobody sees the issue with that. I'm like, come on. But I've noticed a lot of these tweets saying that they are happy with the world size because it actually matches the world that it's based off of, the real life world. That's how it is in that country, and they're basically saying that this is normal, the lot sizes are totally normal. Try to make excuses for everything. You know, they try to say that it actually makes a lot more sense for it to be this way. So that's one of the things that I noticed that I just laughed at. And then the other thing is the loading screens. This is just comical in itself. Like, there was a big debate on Twitter. Obviously, you had all of the big Sims accounts saying that it's all been taken way too far and it's all a bit silly and whatever else. But is it really silly? Like, we are basically paying $40, £35 in the UK, for an expansion pack that lets you build your own apartments, but the catch is you have to visit a loading screen on that exact same apartment, just to go to your neighbour's place. And these loading screens are not tiny, they take the same amount of time that any other loading screen takes. So it's not like they figured out a way for there to, I don't know, bypass the whole loading screen system. So not only do you have to have a loading screen to just visit every single lot, you now have to have a loading screen to visit a room in your lot, and it's just comical. And people, of course, are defending it. Anybody that critiques it, they're all being shamed and told, stop being silly, this is The Sims 4, this is the way that the game works. It is what it is, but you got to think, you're paying $40 for this crap, you're paying $40 for more limitations and more immersion breaking gameplay, and to be told that you shouldn't be able to critique that and demand more is just silly. So yeah, that was another one of the debates that I saw that made me laugh. And then I've just seen a load of other tweets just try to like say that they are okay with there not being open worlds. They would be totally fine with there just being open neighborhoods, and saying that they are okay with loading screens. They're not that bothered about them. Also, the rabbit holes that we're getting in the new pack, they're totally okay with it. They're like, it's just a rabbit hole. We had that in The Sims 3. I'm like, yeah, but The Sims 3 was fun. The rabbit holes were fun. It was all open world. Whilst you were waiting for your sim to do whatever, you could just browse around and see what all of the sims were doing in this big open world. Or you could do something else. You could go to a different family and they could be across town riding a horse in a big open field or something. Like, no loading screens at all. The only loading screen that you had was just to enter the actual game, like the main menu. That was it. It's just comical. So comical. They literally make excuses for everything that EA does. And this is why we have such a big problem, because the more excuses that they keep making for the very little gameplay that we're going to get, the more little gameplay we are going to receive, and it's going to carry on into The Sims 5. We're just going to get less and less because the community keep accepting less. And those that are critiquing it keep on getting bullied into submission. I've noticed so many people in the community always had their own opinions. They didn't give a F. And then the moment that they had swarms of these big simmers jumping on them, calling them silly for having their opinion and telling them to stop being negative, I've noticed a lot of them have kind of backed off and they've started to just either not talk about it at all or start to be more positive towards it all. And I'm like, what? It's just, they're being bullied into submission, and I don't agree with that side of the community. I think we should all be allowed our own opinions. Whether you love the game, nobody should dislike you for that. Nobody should get on at you for liking the game, as long as you don't dislike us and you don't come at us for, disliking not even the game, because a lot of us don't really dislike the game, but we just dislike a lot of decisions that EA are making with these packs, and we want them to improve. That's all we want. We just want all of our games to improve. We want more gameplay to come. We want EA to step it up. There's competition on the way, and a lot of us are kind of a bit worried that The Sims is going to die, because if this carries on, a lot of people are going to switch to a different game. Like, I am even switching to a different game once something better comes along. So that's our concern. We don't want the franchise that we love to die. We want it to get better. I wish people could understand where we're coming from. But yeah, I've banged on about this for way too long now, guys. This is my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with everything. Totally fine. Just try to be respectful. I haven't mentioned anybody's names. I haven't been a total dick. I've just shared my opinion, and hopefully you can be respectful in the comments if you are going to comment. But yeah, that's it, guys. I'm going to be more positive, I hope, in my next videos, now that I've got my speed builds out of the way. All of my really deep conversations, all of the things that I wanted to get off my chest, they're all off my chest, and I feel like I can move on now. Be more positive, actually focus on the builds that I want to make. I'm going to be playing The Sims 3 very, very soon, and just have a more positive voiceover in those. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you did enjoy them. I've got many more videos to come, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.